Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio with Tom Rydberg, DK Mortgage, local expert, contributor, all things mortgage and finance. Does a great job pre-qualifying our buyers, and I've got a lot of great response from folks that have worked with Tom Rydberg, local lender, support the local economy here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We greatly appreciate you doing that. 813-917-1894. You can call or text. That's a direct line, 813-917-1894. Call or text the hotline, consumerqb.com. All right, we got a couple of hot listings here in Pinellas County. 605 Monterey Avenue. This is a beautiful property. I absolutely love this listing here. It's got a gorgeous floor plan, beautiful layout, and when you walk in, you got that beautiful pool, backyard patio with a gorgeous pool, screened in pool, and this home has a lot of updates, a lot of upgrades. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2163 square feet, 605 Monterey Avenue in Clearwater. It's a non-evacuation, non-flood zone, central Clearwater location as well. 2136 square feet, fenced corner lot, newer water heater, roof AC, circular driveway. Just a gorgeous home at Monterey Avenue and in beautiful Clearwater. 3310 Briarwood Circle, 3310 Briarwood, another one of our gorgeous listings here in Tampa Bay. This one's in Safety Harbor. A lot of people love that Safety Harbor area as well. Live that Florida lifestyle in this sophisticated ranch-style home. Built in 1983, Maplewood flooring, high vaulted ceilings, beautiful property. Got a Florida room on the back as well, surrounded by windows, got a lot of natural light coming in. Updated back deck as well. Briarwood Circle, Safety Harbor. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Tom Rydberg, welcome back, sir.
Hey, good to be back.
Absolutely. Good to see you, man. So let's jump into it. You know, we always talk about on this show supporting the local economy, and there's no better reason than the story we were just kind of teasing. Wells Fargo paying $1 billion to settle a shareholder lawsuit. I mean, just think about that. $1 billion, how big these companies are, these big banks, right? They're paying $1 billion. They just got an extra billion hanging around,
That's
right?
a lot of cash.
So I wonder if they're building that into rates. I wonder if they're charging origination fees. I wonder how that plays out for the consumer, right?
Yeah, well, if you drive around any big city in our country, it's not by accident that the biggest buildings are usually banks. Right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure something out. There's obviously a lot of good profit. And what I find interesting, at the same time, they're talking about how some of these regional and smaller banks, and even the big ones,
Yeah.
you know, they mismanage. They're chasing profits all the time. And then as soon as they slip up, right, they're finger pointing that it's regulators, it's either not, there's too much or not enough, or it's policies by the Fed. They're not really quick to take responsibility for their actions. And here's just another example.
Involving 2016 scandal involving fake accounts in which the bank was accused of misleading shareholders. Plaintiffs alleged that Wells Fargo did not act swiftly as it publicly said it would to address the scandal. It came to light in 2020. The drop in stock price affects shareholders. While the settlement must still be approved, the money will go to investors. So yeah, you know, again, these guys, the big banks, they're not good. They're in a lot of times and one of the problems with America right now is you have this you know, it's kleptocracy, whatever they call it, with corporations now being so close in bed with the big government, you know, so you know, the collusion there, we see a lot of that happening. So this, my big takeaway is work local, work with the guy you can go meet with, and you know, at your office, you can meet them at their home, you could meet them at a local coffee shop.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It really does. Not only knowing our local market, but even being able to work with that client and, you know, having a background on what they're going through, because again, not every market's the same.
Yeah.
And certainly a big bank, you know, you may have a branch that you drive by on your way to work or school, but the reality is they're not probably handling the majority of that transaction. That's going out to, you know, someplace out of state.
Yeah.
Could be on a different coast.
Yep.
And you're never going to talk to that person you think you're going to talk to.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's going to the underwriter who might be in a different, you know, area, different city, state in general, and you're not going to get that hands-on as much as you would with working with someone like you. So we're talking with Tom Rydberg here, DK Mortgage here in Tampa Bay, local lender, support the local economy. And Tom, you're also, I saw your last episode on the American Dream television show. That's a fun show too.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
You know, I try to make it about the culture of Florida that I've fallen in love with, and not really about me. So we don't really talk about mortgages. We might dabble a little about real estate, but it's really the culture. And that segment was actually on a boxing gym that I love
Yeah.
in Sarasota. Not what you would first think of when you think about Florida, but you have this great variety of cultures and people and
Yep.
stories.
Yeah.
And you can learn a lot about a place at a boxing gym. I
Yeah.
mean, it's great people.
Yeah, the history of that particular boxing gym too. He had
Super cool.
he had champions in the background or something, or the family tree, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was neat. So they fought. Who was it? Was it Cassius Clay or one of them fought?
One of them, his dad fought Tyson.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I didn't know that until that interview. So I had done a couple of his drop-in classes. He
Yeah.
does them on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
And if you're ever down there, you go to the beach, or if you're vacationing down there,
Sarasota.
yeah, Uppercut Fitness.
Cool. All right, more with Tom Rydberg coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to dive a little bit more into the market, what he sees happening with rates. Also talk about that rent versus own. We're really kind of beating that drum on getting into home ownership versus renting. So many people are renting, throwing money away. We're going to talk about that. We're going to have a free offer here as well on a rent versus own analysis coming up here with Tom Rydberg, DK Mortgage, on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And you can find us online, consumerqb.com, at Brandon Rhymes1, at CQB Show. And we'll be right back here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio with Tom Rydberg, DK Mortgage, on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We always like to feature our listings. We own a top 100 ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay with Keller Williams Realty, $2 billion in sales locally out of our 3 offices here in Tampa Bay with our group, the Ubaldini Group. So we've got a couple of hot listings here. Let's start off with this property at 14 Baywood Drive. 14 Baywood Drive is in Palm Harbor. I love this community because you have a private boat ramp. You can back your boat down, launch it there. You have boat docks, and it's a private community boat ramp. So you've got access to the Gulf of Mexico. Go fishing out there, go skiing. 2913 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, completely remodeled 3-story home, wood burning fireplace in the living room, vaulted ceilings. You got a pool and a screened-in back porch. Waterfront community, 14 Baywood Drive, Palm Harbor. Beautiful 3-story home right here in Tampa Bay. Also, commercial property, 4404 Orient Road in Tampa. Our team does commercial, vacant land listings, luxury listings. We're part of the sports and entertainment division, KW Luxury, KW Land, and Commercial. So this is a commercial property that we've got listed, 4404 Orient Road, $1.3 million list price. Gorgeous property here, well-built office building, 5 units that are currently leased. Plenty of parking, recently updated interior, great investment opportunity on Orient Road, just down the road from the casino. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And it's that time of year to do some spring cleaning. Reach out to Ramin Kazami over at Heights Softwash, heightssoftwash.com. He's a friend of the program. He does a great job cleaning our real estate properties, heightssoftwash.com. Go ahead and get that fence clean, that driveway clean up the home, and get that pressure washing done. Knock something off the honey-do list, and keep the wifey happy, you know what I mean? So there you go, heightssoftwash.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, Tom Rydberg, DK Mortgage in the house. Tom, we wanted to talk about artificial intelligence, a little bit about AI. Tell us how that's applying into your industry, and then I've got a clip I want to play.
Yeah, so AI specifically, I think is still evolving. So I know where I want it to come into play. I want it to simplify my job and maybe cut back on some of the compliance issues that come up. Because
Right.
it's a big cost. So there's a lot of compliance costs that go into a transaction.
Right.
And that's continues to kind of evolve over the last 10 years, and I don't think that's going to go away. So I think AI will help out with that. I think it's going to help out with title cost. It's going to help out with real estate transactions. So I think just as a whole, bring down some of the cost, also simplify the process. Because, I mean, from my standpoint, I get probably the same 10 questions from clients, probably 5 out of 10 questions. When they
Right.
call me up or email me and say, hey, Tom, I got a few questions for you. I say,
Yep.
well, it's going to be one of these 5.
There you go.
So if
Yeah.
I had, AI to kind of just answer those questions automatically for me. We've started with our app, and there's some predictive texting apps that are out there.
Yep.
But I'm more curious than anything. So I know that that's been a huge topic of conversation over the last month or so.
Huge.
In a lot of different professions. And I think everybody is kind of wondering, like, hey, what's around the corner for my own job? So I really look as a positive where I am in my career. How's that going to help me?
Yep.
But I don't know. In 5 years, are they going to need loan officers? I hope so.
There's scary stuff going on, and I got a clip here I'm going to play from the War Room. This is actually Alex Jones talking about artificial intelligence. I'm going to go to this tape here.
I've talked to the highest level people in AI off record who are obviously scared to come on my show, but they talk to me, and a lot of them live here in Austin. They told me years ago, they said AI is way more advanced than people know, and so they've actually dialed it back. They've had several pauses in its rollout, but in beta, it's ready to go, where it can dial into all the machines in your house, everything you do. It listens to you, it collates it, it creates a total database, and then it plagiarizes your information and puts it into algorithms. If people think ultra-fast trading, high-frequency trading, is bad for the stock market and allows certain groups to get rich at the expense of the public, imagine AI is 50,000 times worse than that. So what it does is game all systems. And so by them wiring everything into AI, it basically makes us obsolete and is just beyond dangerous. Not just the criminal applications to be able to totally fake somebody's voice and then call somebody up, and then the AI talks to somebody's mother.
You're saying something nobody will talk about. When talking about humans and it's going to take the jobs, the humans are going to be like a little body man to the AI. I mean, and the human will be basically disposable of very quickly.
So it's a scary thought, right? When you think about that, and you have people like Elon Musk and the co-creator founder of Microsoft, I think it was. I forgot his name. I forgot his name offhand. Wozniak.
Oh yeah.
These guys saying, "Hey, pump the brakes, pump the brakes." They're in that business saying, "Pump the brakes." It's almost like a sci-fi movie waiting to a lot of us have these Alexas. Hey Google, play whatever Kenny Chesney song, right? We use that now. They can go in there. They can, from what he's saying, they can access that and start spying and probably already.
Well, that's already
spying.
happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not by accident that we'll have a conversation about I don't know, four-wheelers.
A new pair of shoes or whatever.
And guess what's going to pop up on my phone?
Exactly.
Right? And I always tell clients that's going to happen to them when it comes about mortgages and real estate.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's almost like the AI. Remember, like 10 years ago, the big push in the medical field, and just whether it's anti-aging or just growing body parts, and
transhumanism.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or what was a big one in the 80s? Cloning pigs, that you open Pandora's box, and you don't know where it's going to go and who's really regulating.
Yeah,
exactly. Now you're talking about regulation in the U.S., but there's a lot of smart people outside of the U.S. that don't have the same regulation. So it is very scary sometimes.
It really is. We're talking with Tom Rydberg here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and Tom is a local lender. We want you supporting the local economy. Please support the local economy by supporting the folks that you hear on this program. You can reach out to the hotline. You can hit us up on consumerqb.com as well. And we'd love to put you in touch with Tom and any of our other, 80 different categories of consumer advocates here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So I know we wanted to get to USDA. What is USDA, Tom?
So USDA is United Agricultural Sponsored Program for more rural communities to create affordable housing, because the number one obstacle to home ownership is still down payment, right?
Yep.
So recent study talked about, like in this market, 40% of home purchases that are finances are first-time home buyers. That's the highest we've had 40%. In a long time.
Wow.
Specifically because we talked about the move-up buyers don't want to sell because they have that low interest rate.
Yep.
So the first-time home buyer, they're not walking away from a low rate.
Right.
So they're really occupying a big part of the market right now, and over 50% of them still thought you needed 20% to put down.
Wow.
So you don't.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you have 3%, 5%, 3.5%, plenty of grant programs, no money down. USDA is just one. I don't talk about it a lot in certain markets because, for instance, Chicago suburbs, there's no USDA available. In Florida, I mean, the whole Gulf Coast. I mean, there's lots of pockets, especially up here north of Tampa, west of Tampa.
Zephyrhills, Dade City, probably out that way.
Yeah. Now there are some income restrictions. There are some sale price restrictions. But if you're in, that first-time home buyer, maybe you move up, working class, you're not going to get a high-rise condo on the beach using USDA, but it's something to look into. And you can Google USDA. USDA has a map. You can call my office, obviously, shoot me an email, and we can look it up for you.
CloseFaster@gmail?
Yeah, you got it.
CloseFaster@gmail. That's his email there. CloseFaster@gmail. Tom Rydberg on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I wanted to get, we're almost out of time, but I wanted to get to this rent versus own. Talk to us about renting versus owning and the analysis that you can put together.
Yeah, so give us an address, give us a zip code. We can give you the historical trends as far as appreciation, rent increase. We can even go as far as plugging in your income bracket and what you're paying in federal taxes and take that into account as far as what your tax deduction is going to be. Because a lot of people forget about, they look at just how much am I going to save on a monthly basis, right? Or how much is the home going to appreciate? But there's also a tax savings as well.
Right.
So it computes all of that. And it's going to look at the initial cost of ownership between loan costs, inspections, et cetera, moving. And it kind of will graph it out. Where does that big uptick come? It's after 2 or 3 years of ownership. The rest is all gravy for you. You've won. So we do that free of charge, and that's a super fun tool to look at.
Yeah.
And it's really part of your long-term wealth strategy too. So young people, we talk about getting invested in real estate as well as your 401k and putting some money aside for a rainy day. But you can graph all that out. If you have a plan and you write it down, you have a much better opportunity of accomplishing it. So you can kind of integrate that with your financial planning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just think if you're paying $2,500 a month in rent, you annualize that, so you're at $25,000 plus 5, so you're at $30,000 a year. You just take that out 5 years, take that out 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Add a zero to that. Now you got $300,000 invested in what, a rental?
Right.
Versus ownership.
Yeah. And here's the other thing: if your listeners are, maybe they're single, they don't have a significant other, they have a friend or a coworker in the same situation. My kids, they're in their 20s, they're so busy, they're not home half the time except just to sleep and eat anyways. Get a roommate. I mean, that's a great way to get into real estate.
There you go. I love it. Tom Rydberg, lots of good ideas there. Artificial intelligence, USDA, rent versus own, and affordable housing. Tom Rydberg, always a pleasure. CloseFaster@gmail is his contact. CloseFaster@gmail. Final thought, back to you.
Well, I love what you talk about the big banks. Appreciate all the support with the small local lenders. It means a lot to us.
That's right.
And I love what I do, and it's exciting. There's a lot going on. It's not all good, but we'll get through it, and just appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Awesome. Good stuff, Tom. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate that. We'll see you next time. And we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with Nick Shriver, Decorating Elves, another one of our great expert contributors, local area business owner here in Tampa Bay. Nick Shriver coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.